30 seconds to go, and we back at it. This is the number 2 race, and I'm learning some more and more about my races. I'm getting better at my takeoffs. That's the one thing I wanted to focus on, is the takeoffs. Takeoffs gets me out in front, keeps me from having to catch up to the pack. So I'm learning that, like I say, at 10 seconds, you see me, I'll start winding up a little bit. I'm on the pedals, I'm starting to push. When you see me get down to about 5 seconds, you're going to see the thing come up to about 250, 300. Then right at about 3 seconds, you're going to see it start winding through the roof. And when it goes 0, I'm 1,262 in. And that's where I want to be at when I take off. And then after I take off, I bring it back down within about 200 feet of that takeoff, 300 feet of that takeoff. I wind myself back down to 500, 450 right in there. And as you can see, I'm already up at 23 miles an hour. And that's good enough to get me going. And the purpose for that is I kind of want them to catch up to me and me always catching up to them when we took off the line. So I've been trying to nail my takeoffs. And as you see, I nailed it. Now, I think one of these races I decided to ride the pack because I was starting to get tired, because I am adjusting my knob, and my knob is, because I'm putting a little bit more energy into the races, it's kind of making me a little bit tired than I normally would be on a race. So as we take off, I'm at the 38 miles an hour on this slight decline. And I remembered this race. If you remember a while back, I did a race about 2-3 weeks ago where somebody bumped me off the line, and I had this little bump issue the whole rest of the race. But that was kind of what I knew that race from. That's why I knew this race from, because there's a super long lead in on this race. So as we lead in on this race, there's a slight incline that slows me down. And because I'm not going super balls out, I slow down with everybody, but it's not as bad as long as I keep myself around 450. And so as you see, I keep myself around 450, and I'm starting to really get riding pretty well. Now, I do have, if you notice, I've been talking a lot about BB. I don't like his uniform. I don't like it. I don't think it should be on Zwift. I'm just joking, He's just a new friend of me. He's a new friend of me. He's a new friend of me. And with him, I know what it's like to be hunted now. You know, I've been doing a lot of, I haven't won all. It's not like I'm winning everything. And I'm winning probably 35-40% of the races I'm in. So, and that's in Class D, so it's great, but it's not perfect. So I'm looking at him, and he has this kind of wait and see approach when we're racing. We follow each other now. I had to. I couldn't. Him and Tandem, and now I gotta follow Hodgson. I think I follow him now. And I'm starting to get a following group of pretty fast guys. These guys can race. So I'm starting to get a group with them where I'm starting to follow them, and I try to catch races. This weekend, I was gonna try to do Saturday. I did the 4 Tiny Zwift Insiders at 5 o'clock, and then I did a 6:10 Torture Fest. So I was gonna do one more race, which brought me to about 35 miles in like an hour and a half to right at 2 hours. But I had to get out of here. We had to be going by my house. We went to a thing out of town, so I had to leave the house by at least 8:30. So I didn't have enough time to do that last one and still get ready to go. I tried to have everything ready, but I didn't want wifey yelling at me, so I kind of just made sure I got things done. So as we go on this race, I have Hodgson right behind me, and he's constantly pushing me. And I look down, and Hodge, I'm gonna call you S from now on. I want to mess with your name, so I make sure I'm saying it right. S, don't get mad at me. I wasn't thinking about you. All I was looking at that screen was, where is BB? That's all I was thinking about. Where is BB? The whole race, where he's at. Because he has this thing where he's great at timing his endings. I don't even consider rate a factor with me and him. He has a great, unless there's a hill right at the end like you saw in the first one, and it's got to be right at the end where I missed. For him, he's timed where he needs to take off. And for me, I need to find a way to bust his timing up, because his timing is perfect. If I hit this hill, if I would have came in this hill right here, which I knew it was one down, if I saw the hill going and I would have brought myself in that hill about 600, I could have cut his timing and catching up with me. But if you see, BB's coming. He's on the hunt now. And it was even stated, I think on the third race in the comments, y'all probably see it because it'll be up there when we get ready to start on the third one of these. In the comments, someone was like, hey, y'all need to slow it down. I think somebody said, T, we need you to slow it down. And I'm like, I can't. I got BB on my tail the whole time. I can't slow down because he's there. So I'm thinking to myself, I just got to push the pack. So that's what I'm doing on this race. I'm pushing the pack, but I'm pushing myself because I cannot let myself slow down too much because he's there. So even when I had that decline right here, I had to go ahead and I didn't have a chance just to ride it out coming down. I knew I needed to go ahead and put some more power in. I tried to catch a slight breath, as you see, but I knew when we started coming back up, I need to be going. So you see, I had to bring it back up so to make sure I didn't lose too much. Now, when it does that little curve right there, I know, hey, maybe we do lose some. I don't feel it. It feels like we lose power. And maybe because it just seems like that because of the jerk, but it feels like I lost some when we hit that turn. That little jerk where it acts like we're going to go down one way, but we don't. So as we come over the hill, I see how he's starting to pull off, but I know he's not going to get too much further because there is a decline coming up. And with that decline, as you see, I can pull back up in front. The thing I have to remember, like for BB, is when to actually set off on my takeoff. Now, since this is one lap, I only really get one shot at it. So without seeing what it's going to be on the next lap, I'm going off of memory because it's been a while since I rode this race, but I have rode it a couple of times. So I'm trying to get back out in front. I know because of the way they're doing these races this week that there has to be a kind of ending hill. So I'm trying to keep myself right there in mid-high good yellow. I'm trying to just stay in the yellow and ride for a moment. And then I know that if I can stay in the yellow and stay up ahead of them, that once we get down to the end, maybe I can hammer it out at about, I'm thinking to myself, as I'm riding this race, I'm thinking to myself, okay, once we get down to 5/10 of a mile right here, I'm gonna start bringing it up a little bit. And not a whole bunch, I'm gonna bring it up a little bit so that I can force them, that I can kind of separate us. And I was thinking there was a slight decline. I thought it was a lot slighter than what it was, but it really wasn't. It was just a 1%. I thought it was gonna go down to 2 or 3, and it was actually bringing us back flat. And so I was going, okay, cool. I gotta time my takeoff where I can be at max, but I can't time it too late, because if I do, he's gonna come around on me. So I know Hodge is right there behind, I know S is right there behind me, but I know BB is right behind him. And so when S starts to take off, I have to take off now, because we're getting close to 1,000 feet back. You see all three of them, we're perfectly lined up. They're drafting off me, he's drafting off him, and I see him starting to make his move, and now I make my move, and I'm going. And if we're starting to really get it now, I'm trying to bring it up to about 140 pedals, 1,200 watts, and we're going. And he times it so well. Look at that. He makes it look so effortless. And I'm just going, oh, just right, just right. Oh. Give it to you, BB. Perfect timing. Perfect. Thank y'all for watching this race. I'll catch y'all on the next one. Ride on.